నమస్తే. ఈ మహమ్మారి కరోనా వైరస్ సందర్భంగా ప్రజలందరూ లాక్డౌన్ ఒత్తిడిలో ఉన్నారు. ముఖ్యంగా విద్యార్థులు వారి పాఠశాలకు దూరమై, చదువులకు దూరమై, పరీక్షలకు దూరమై ఎంతో క్షోభను అనుభవిస్తూ ఉండవచ్చు. 10వ తరగతి పరీక్షలు మన తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రంలో 3 పేపర్స్ తర్వాత ఆగిపోయిన విషయం మీ అందరికీ తెలిసిందే. మిగిలిన 8 పేపర్లు జూన్ 8వ తారీఖు నుండి 29వ తారీఖు వరకు పరీక్షల టైం టేబుల్ ఇచ్చింది. ఇలాంటి లాక్డౌన్ సమయంలో విద్యార్థులు ఎదుర్కొంటున్న ఒత్తిడులకు వాళ్ళు వారి ఉపాధ్యాయులతో దూరమైన వేళ ఎలా పరీక్షలు రాయాలి అనే అయోమయానికి గురవుతున్న వేళ మేము JS3 అనే సంస్థతో ఒప్పందం కుదుర్చుకొని ఈ 10వ తరగతి పరీక్షలు రాసే విద్యార్థుల కొరకు ఒక ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసుల రూపకల్పన చేసినాము. ముఖ్యంగా తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రంలోని పేరొందిన భాషా పరిజ్ఞానం ఉన్న, విషయ పరిజ్ఞానం ఉన్న ఉపాధ్యాయులతో ఈ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసులు ఇస్తున్నాం. ఆ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసులు ఒక పాఠశాలకు పరిమితం కాకుండా, ఒక పాఠశాల విద్యార్థులకే పరిమితం కాకుండా ఈరోజు ఆర్మూర్ పట్టణమే కాకుండా ఆర్మూర్ చుట్టుపక్కల పరిసర ప్రాంతంలోని 10వ తరగతి విద్యార్థులు ఎవరైతే జూన్ 8వ తారీఖు నుంచి పరీక్ష రాయబోతున్నారో వారి ఉపయోగార్థము ఈ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసులను పిల్లలకు ఉపయోగకరంగా ఉంటుందని మా ప్రతిపాదనను ఈ NCN ఛానల్ వారి ఛానల్ యాజమాన్యానికి ఇవ్వగా వారు మనస్ఫూర్తిగా ముందుకొచ్చి మేము కూడా ఈ పిల్లలకు విద్యను అందించడంలో మేము కూడా ఒక ప్రధాన పాత్రను పోషిస్తాం అని ముందుకొచ్చి మనకు ఈ విధంగా సహకరిస్తున్నందుకు మీ తరఫున, మా తరఫున, శ్రీభాషిత పాఠశాల తరఫున NCN యాజమాన్యానికి, నవనాథ ఛానల్ యాజమాన్యానికి నా మనస్పూర్వక అభినందనలు తెలుపుతూ ధన్యవాదాలు తెలుపుకుంటున్నాను. ఈ విషయ పరిజ్ఞానం ఉన్న ఉపాధ్యాయులు రోజుకు కనీసము 1 గంట మొదలుకొని 1 గంట 30 నిమిషాల వరకు వారు పరీక్షా సమయంలో ఎలా ప్రిపేర్ కావాలి అనే కోణంలో మీకు క్లాసులు ఇవ్వబడింది. ఇట్టి క్లాసులను ఈ నవనాథ ఛానల్ వాళ్ళు NCNలో నవనాథ్ ఛానల్లో రోజు 2 పూటల ఉదయము మరియు సాయంత్రం మీకు ప్రత్యేక ప్రసారం చేస్తారు. ఇటువంటి సదవకాశాన్ని విద్యార్థులు దీక్షతో, పట్టుదలతో దీనిని సద్వినియోగం చేసుకోవాల్సిందిగా నేను అందరినీ ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాను. ముఖ్యంగా ఈ పరీక్షల సమయంలో విద్యార్థులు ఎటువంటి ఆందోళనకు గురి కాకుండా సబ్జెక్టు పైనే దృష్టి పెడుతూ అనుభవం ఉన్న ఉపాధ్యాయులచే ఇచ్చిన గైడ్లైన్స్ను తూచా తప్పకుండా పాటిస్తూ చక్కగా పరీక్ష రాసి ఉత్తమ మార్కులతో పాస్ అయ్యి ఆర్మూర్ను మన తెలంగాణ పటంలోనే ఒక గొప్ప ప్రాంతంగా పేరు తెచ్చుకుంటారని మనస్ఫూర్తిగా
and statistics we will go for these 2 chapters. Why? Because these are very simple chapters and you will be getting minimum 20 marks from these 2 chapters. So now if you take a probability, I would like to share a screen also. Listen. Yeah. So here probability of any event, an event P of E is equal to favorable outcomes by total outcomes. We can see, so in a probability, what do you mean by probability? This is the formula. Then how we can, this is very, very important. If you are able to remember this formula, entire chapter will entire chapter will run with this this formula only. So probability, in probability we have impossible event. An event which cannot occur in any account is called that is called as impossible event. The probability of an impossible event is 0. Then certain event or sure event we call an event here an event which will be definitely occurs, definitely occur is called certain event. For example, what I say, if a die is having one and one, all two numbers, all two numbers are all the sides. So then what is the probability of getting 2? It is sure event, that is 1. Okay. If I say in an impossible event, for example, what is the probability of getting 7 when a die is rolled? Probability is 0. So the value of probability, so it always lies between 0 and 1. It may be equivalent to 0. When it is equivalent to 0, that is called impossible event. It is equivalent to 1. It can be sure event. The value will vary 0 to 1 for any event. Now complementary event which is not P of not, that is called, we can put P dash P of E bar. This is called P of E bar. We denote P of E bar is equal to 1 minus P of E. 1 minus P of E. Or in any event, P of E plus P of E bar is equivalent to 1. So please do remember. So on these you will be getting the some multiple questions. For example, probability of an event is lies between 0 and 1. What does it mean? How we read 0 less than or equal to P of E and less than or equal to 1. So a question will be like this. You can come across a question with what, which of the following is correct? Then A will be given like this: 0 less than P of E less than 1. So B will be 0 greater than P of E greater than 1. And one more C option will be 0 greater than or equal to P of E greater than or equal to 1. And D will be 0 less than P of E less than or equal to 1. So this is the correct answer. So children, please don't be confused yourself. That's why the fundamental concepts, you understanding the fundamental concepts and keeping in your mind is very, very important. Understand? Now let us see what are the different what are the different events. The entire chapter runs with these kind of experiments. We call as experiments. There is tossing a coin. In tossing a coin, we can toss. There is a context of one coin, tossing a one coin, and two coins at a time, or three coins at a time. Will rolling a die. You know what do you mean by die? Rolling two dice at a time, drawing a number card from a box. A box contains, the context will be like that. A box contains numbers 100 to or 101 to 200 or 1 to 100 will be like that. So what is the probability of getting a prime number? What is the probability of getting, if two numbers were drawn, what is the probability of the getting a co-primes? That kind of questions will be arised. Okay. Now drawing a color ball from a certain bag, or drawing a color marble, or different color balls or marbles like that. Number games also. Then probability and geometrical applications. The area will be like this. Suppose in a field, it will be given, the length and breadth of the field will be given, and the radius of another field will be given, the radius. Here you have to find out the area of the rectangular field and area of the circular field. Then if I throw a ball or if I throw a coin, and whatever it may be, what is the probability of a coin should can fall in the circular area? Okay. Then what is the favorable outcome here? The circular area. What is the total outcome here? The area of the rectangular field. This is called the geometrical applications. And daily life situations. In every daily life situation, we use probability. Buying pens and buying bulbs and manufacturing, and anyway, we use these kind of the questions. Okay. you see this chapter will be on entire on this, one more thing is there, deck of cards also there. You see different cards. I will show you different cards of deck of cards. Now, probability of, okay, the probability of an event, again I am repeating, favorable area of the region, for the geometrical region and total area of the region, that is one. So you please remember, probability of any event, favorable outcomes by total outcome, possible total outcomes. So the first case in any experiment, what we have to do, we have to see for these two items, what are the total favorable outcomes, if you are able to find out favorable outcome, then listing out the favorable outcome, very very important, listing out and their number, this is called. And one more thing, total favorable outcomes also. You could do, if you could segregate these two things from the given problem, then it is very easy to find out the probability. Okay, now you see tossing coins, what happens? One coin is when one coin is tossed, trial 1 and trial 2, results of HT, and see, if one coin is tossed, what is the either head or tail will be occur in the faces. Now listen here, what is the probability of getting a head? Probability of head is our that is 1. Total, how many total here, total outcome H and T. If I ask probability of H, how many H's are there? 1 by 2. Very simple. You can, if you take two coins, what is going on? See, trial 1 and trial 2. If I toss two coins at a time, what happens? Head, tail. You see, now the case is when two coins were tossed, then what is the favorable outcome? You see, H. You see, two coins. Then tell me again, HT, then TT or TH. You see, please observe the screen. Okay, so the favorable outcomes are, how many favorable outcomes are there? Total outcomes are there, sorry. 4 set of favorable total outcomes are there. Now my question is, what is the probability of getting heads on both coins? So heads on the question, please remember. My question is, note down the question. What is the probability of getting, heads on both coins? Only one favorable outcome. So the favorable outcome is HH. And total outcomes are what? These are 4. H comma H, this is one set. HT another set, and TT another set, and TH is another set. Okay, now my question is probability of heads. P of E is equal, you should write the favorable outcomes by total outcomes. That is how many favorable outcomes? 1 by 4. If one more question will be there, at least one head, I am asking both head. Now the question is, what kind of at least one head, that means we should get any one head, that means head, here is one head, here is one head. Then favorable outcomes will be 3 and total outcomes will be 4. So please remember, you should be very cautious. Very simple activity, but the questioning is very understanding the question. So results of tossing two coins will be like this. Okay. So these sample. So this is called total outcomes. Among the total outcome, they can ask at least one hair, one tail, or both, what is the probability of getting both tails, or what is the probability of one head and one tail, either HT or TH. So please, among these total outcomes, what kind of if you have an idea, of the total outcome, then whatever the question they ask, you can answer the question. That is a very important. Now, tossing three kinds also. Three kinds, you see what is going on, the total outcomes. So now, if you take three kinds, what happens? So if you take three kinds, I'm listing out the total outcomes, three kinds. The case is three kinds at a time. So the kind should be same kind. Suppose if you toss one rupee coin and 2 rupee coin and it's not correct. The kind size and everything should be same. That is called unbiased kinds. So that will be given clearly. So now what will you HH on first HH, you see the figure. Then second trial, what happens? HTT. Okay. Next one, see trial 3, THT. Okay. Next one more, TTH. Next, you see THH. Next, you to note down HTH. Then HHT. Next, TTT.
Ramaya sir,
Sir,
once this screen sharing is over, just for
Okay.
few seconds, we stop
Okay.
screen sharing, sir. They
Yeah.
can do the whiteboard.
okay.
Huh?
Yeah.
That
Yes,
would
okay.
be better, I think.
Yes, okay. Children, why I'm simultaneously I'm using Blackboard. Board means to understand
But
it more.
board is visible very small, and this screen sharing is very this one. After screen
Okay,
sharing,
okay.
yeah.
Right. Now listen, among these, you can questions will be different. Questions will come in the examination. So if you know the total sample area of total outcomes, possible total outcomes, then the result of the three kinds will be like this. You observe. So now, what my question? You can. What I want to tell you that you can pose many questions on your own also. What is the probability of getting at least two heads? At least two heads means I know only two heads on any two kinds. So then how many favorable outcomes are there? See, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see 1, 2, understand? 3, 4. 4 favorable outcomes are there. If I need same question, if at least two tails. So what is the probability of getting either both the heads or either or అన్నప్పుడు చూడండి either or అన్నప్పుడు you can collect the things. Both heads or both three tails. So here two possible outcomes. So based on the question, you have to find out the favorable outcomes among the total outcomes. That is very important. Okay. Yes. Now see, tossing kinds. One kind twice. It is also same. You see, trial 1, trial 2. You see, same thing. What happened? This will be the combination. So from these one kind two times also, 1 kind 2 channel also same HHTT what you get in the earlier. Okay, the results will be like this. So what am I? If you see the bottom of the slide, these are all called what? Total outcomes. So the questions will be different. So questions will be based on the total outcomes, and they will be asking what is the probability of getting heads, or what is the probability of getting minimum head or minimum one tail, like that. Okay. So 1 kind 3 times also same, you see. I'm taking all these things. Now see the result. Same, Now rolling a die. If you take rolling a die consists of how many faces? 6 faces. So the now please see, when the total outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When a die is rolled, what is the probability of getting an odd number? Here, how many odd numbers are there? Please observe 1, 3, 5. So the favorable outcomes are 1, 3, 5. Then the number of favorable outcomes is 3. Total outcomes are 6. Then what is the probability of getting P of E? Favorable outcomes, total outcome, that is 3 by 6, 1 by 2. What is the probability of getting an even number? Same, 2, 4, 6. So that is 3 by 6. Again, you will be getting what? 1 by 2. Okay. So what is the probability of getting a prime number? Same, 2, 3, 5. You will be getting 3 by 6, 1 by 2. So likewise, you will be, the questions will be like this. Okay. Please, if you know the total favorable outcomes, then you are able to find out the favorable outcomes. Now it is very, very important. Please note down, when 2 dice were rolled, when 2 dice were rolled, what is the probability of getting something? I will ask, what is the probability of getting doublet? Doublet means same, same number on the both sides. Same number on the both sides. That is very important. So now how many doublets are there? Identify 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and 6, 6. So now how many doublets are there? 6 doublets are there. Now what is the, how many total favorable outcomes are there? 36. This is a very, very important. If you have an idea of this total outcomes, understand, then you will able to answer any question. Well, the questions will be like that. Please note down when I am speaking, please note down my questions. How many questions I can generate, and you can generate many questions. What is the probability of getting the sum of the total numbers when 2 dice were rolled? What is the probability of getting when 2 dice were rolled 13? The sum of the 2 numbers, is 13. Is it, is it possible even? No. So that you see, wherever you see the total sum of the total any 2 faces, that is not more than 12. So it is an impossible even. It is an impossible even, like this. So somebody should say that Ramu said that the probability of getting sum of any 2 faces when 2 dice were rolled, it is the sum is 13. It is an impossible event. Do you agree with some Ramu or not? Then you have to justify your answer in such a way. Understand? Either it is a reason or it is a problem solving. You have to solve the problem. Okay. This is the 36. Total outcomes are 36. So now many questions will arise. What is the probability of getting even numbers on both faces? Write down. What is the probability of getting odd numbers on both faces? What is the probability of getting at least one odd number? or what is the probability of getting prime numbers on both faces, and what is the probability of getting co-primes. Co-prime means you might have an idea. So when they don't have any common factors, common factors, so that they are the co-primes. For example, 5 and 2 are co-prime, 5 3 co-prime, 5 4 also co-prime. Okay, like this. 6 2 is not a co-prime again, like this. So now you are, these are the different questions. Among it is very very important. Definitely you will get a question, a 4-mark question from these two dice. Okay, rolling two dice is very important aspect. Definitely 2-mark question or 4-mark question. And what is like what is the probability of getting some of the both faces less than or equal to 10, less than or equal to 10. Let us observe how many favorable outcomes are there. Let us see. More than 5 5, less than 5 5, all are comes under 1 2 3 4, 24 plus 4, 28. Again 6 comma 1, 29, 6 comma 2, 28, 30. This is also 31, 32, 32 by 36, like this. So what is the probability of getting sum of the both faces will be less than or equal to 10. What is the probability of getting, so the difference may be 2. If I ask what is the probability of the both faces when the two dice were rolled, what is the probability of getting the difference must be 2. So what kind of combination you have to find out. Likewise, these are all the different questions. Just I am orally I am explaining different questions. So then you, for this question, what you have to do, you have to write two dice were rolled. Then you should write these 36 total outcome, total possible outcomes. Then after you should take the what event, what kind of event, what he asked, that kind of you should write. Then you write the favorable outcome. Then you write the formula and substitute the values. That is very important. Now, you see, I'm with the different numbers. I'm sum of the digits turns up. So you see, sum of the digits 2, where 3. This color indicates the your that one. You see, 4, where 4 comes, where 5 come. How many of 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is the probability of getting or sum of the both faces less than must be 5. If I say like that, not less than, must be 5. So then how many favorable outcomes are there? 4 favorable outcomes are there. 5, 6, you see, for 6 how many favorable outcomes are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, very some logic is here. What is the uh, probability of getting sum of the both faces must be 7. Then what is 1 2 3 4 5 6? You see, 6 comma 1 5 2 4 3 3 4 2 5 1 6. So accordingly I have put the color. What is the probability of getting 8? 1 2 3 4 5. Again it was decreased. Again, what is the probability of getting? You see, I am asking, question must be very clear. Must be 5 or must be 4 or must be 6 or must be 8. Then you stick for this one. Earlier I said one statement, less than or equal to, you take all the less than activities, less than possible outcomes. Understand? So this is the case. You have to be very cautious while answering the question. What is the probability of getting 12? That is 1. Understand? Okay. Now let us see. Now different cards, club, diamond, deck of cards. So what is the total? How many total cards will be there? 52 cards will be there. So among the 52, you see these are all the different kinds of cards, probability of cards. For a club, how many cards are there? You see how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Heart, again 13. Spade, 13 cards. So you should have an idea. You know, textbook image was there. Please go through that one. So you may get a question from cards also. These are all face cards. Now tell me, what is the probability of getting when a card is drawn randomly from the deck of cards? What is the probability of getting a face card? So any face card, what I'm asking, any face card. That means how many face cards are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 4 3 is 12. 12 by 52. Okay, you see, that is the probability. Ace cards. What is the probability of getting an ace card? 4 by 52. So if somebody asks black also, if you could do color, if you color specified, you can go for that one. Yes. Now, children, listen to me. I would like to stop here. This is the glimpses of the chapter. Now, you see different kind of where you questions. Two more questions are there. One daily life questions are there. Is it visible? Okay. Now, I would like to tell that a game of a chance of consists, you know, a game should be, I told you earlier, game. So it will be like this. Up to 12 numbers or 8 numbers are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is a mark. The disc was, when the disc was, it is a circular disc which moves circularly. So what is the probability when a disc was will be like this? My question is what is the probability of getting an odd number? Then you find out what are the total outcomes. The total outcomes are what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't be hurry. Now, what I'm asking, what is the probability of getting an odd number? How many odd numbers are there? 1, 3, 5, 7. Okay, the odd numbers. So favorable outcomes here. How many? 8 is total outcomes. Favorable outcomes 1, 3, 5, 7. Now total. What is the probability of an event? Probability of an event is equal favorable outcomes by total outcomes. That is 4 by 8. That is 1 by 2. Now here you should be careful. One kind of questions. Always probability can be expressed in the form of decimal forms. 0.5. I can express 0.5. Or I can say it is as 50% also. So now a question arises like this: which of the following is following is not correct? Now listen to me. A 1 by 2, B 0.5, C 50%. Sometimes it will be D. Some I can say 3 by 2. Now understand. For which you see, you will be wondered sometimes. Oh, I didn't see any percentage. So now you can understand The probability can be expressed by percentage, 3 a decimal point, 3 a decimal number, or a fraction always less than 1, always less than 1. Here you see this fraction is greater than 1. You know, already I have discussed 0 less than or equal to P of E less than or equal to 1. That means the probability of it does not exceed. Here it was greater than 1, hence it was the wrong answer. So in probability it seems very simple, but you should be very careful. Okay, so why I'm telling, I'm linking many things to one kind of, so based on this. Okay, now one more question I would like to tell you. If a box contains, if a box, write down the question. If a box contains, if a box or bag contains your balls, different color balls. Okay, so please note down. So the number of red balls are 8, blue balls are 6, and green balls 5. Okay, green balls will be 7, like that, or I can say 10, whatever it may be. So if a box contains, you can write, if a box contains red ball 8, blue ball 6, and green ball 10. Now my question is what, you know, my question is, now 2 or 3 other questions will be like, this is a 4-mark question. One is direct, find the probability of getting a red ball. Find the probability of getting a red ball. Then one more question, find the probability, when a ball is drawn randomly from the bag or a box, find the probability of which is not blue, Our third question will be like this. Then what is the probability of getting, if a ball is drawn randomly, either blue or red, either blue or red. So these are all the 3 questions. Now you can see, if I take probability of a red ball, now what will be the favorable outcomes? So red ball, the favorable outcomes are 8. So now you should write what? You should write, understand, you should write the formula first. You should write the formula. So which is not a blue ball, which is either blue or red, I will tell you. First is direct question. So the favorable outcomes for getting, you know, red ball is equal to 8. Then P of red ball, the probability of an event equal to, you know, I am writing shortcutly, you should write in the exam full favorable outcomes by total outcomes. Now total balls, how many total balls, you know, 14 plus 24. Okay, so 8 by 24. So you please simplify. 8 ones are 8 threes are 1 by 3. Okay, now one more question. Which is not a blue ball? It should not be a blue ball. For finding this probability, you can do 2 ways. You can do in a informal way, you can do a formal way. For that, which is not a blue ball? Which is not blue ball means it may be what? Either red ball plus green ball. So the favorable outcomes will be, you know, 10 plus 8 plus 10, that is 18. Now the probability of not getting a blue ball is equal to 18 by 24. 6 threes are 6 fours are 3 by 4. Or a clever student may be like this. So he can find the probability of a blue ball. Probability of blue ball is called what? 6 by 24. That is 1 by 4. So probability of a not a blue bar, not a blue, I am taking B bar. That is equal to, as you know, 1 minus P of B or P of E. So 1 minus 1 by 4 is equal to, that is 3 by 4. Either you can do like this or you can do like this. Understand? Okay? So this is the way you have to see. Yeah. Good. Somebody is answering the questions also. Very nice. Now, this is now where you will be confused. This question. Now, my third question is, what is the third question? Either a red ball, either a red or blue, either a red or blue. So it may be the red, it may be the blue. You can, then you have to add. Then red plus blue is equal to what? 8 plus 6, that is 14. Now our P of E is equal to what? Favorable outcomes 14. You should write the step also, then 24. So 2 7s are 2 12s are, that is 7 by 12. So this is the way you have to find out. You can take a marble, ball, and whatever it may be. Understand? So these kind of questions you come across in the examination. Definitely, I will tell you one question, 1 mark question, 2 mark questions, and 4 mark questions. And one more, earlier I told you one application type questions. One here very, very important. If you go to a shop, it is a context. If you go to a shop, you will see a shopkeeper selling a book stall. So in a pen stand, there are 100 pens are there in a pen stand. How many pens are there? 100 pens are there. So among the 100 pens, 3 pens are not good. Not good. They are bad pens are not good. They are not working like that. Now the total pens. How many total pens? 100 pens. So among the not good means which are not working pens are, not working means they are not good. So 3. Now if a shopkeeper draws a pen from the pen stand or a pocket of pens, what is the probability of getting a good pen or running pen or working pen? How many good pens? 97. Now I can say now the probability of a pen, a good pen, is equal 97 by 100. It is very simple, you can get. Here case question will be like that. When a shopkeeper draws a pen, what is the probability of getting a not working pen or a bad pen? That is equal to again P of E bar something. So 3 by 100. Now the next question will be like this. It consequent question. What kind of question? If he finds that the pen is not working, the pen was kept outside. Oh, it's not working, it kept outside. Then he asked, what is the probability of getting the good pen? So now total pens will be 99. So now good pen is 97. How many pens are there? 97 and by 99. This is the case. So keeping away, then the total pens will decrease. So next, like that, consequently, you should understand the problem. So these are some questions that come across in the examination. And one more thing, some area related problems also. I told you earlier, before the chapter also. So this is the rectangular field or whatever field it may be. So 10 centimeters or 10 meters into 4 meters. Now there is a well with a radius of 7 meters. Then or 3 by 2 7 meters. You take 7 meters. Then what is the probability when a ball is thrown in the field? So what is the probability of the ball should fall in the well? So now the area of the well 20 pi r square. Now you should apply pi r square. 22 by 7 into 7 into 7. So 22 into 7. So this is the square meters. Now this area will be 10 into 40. 10 into 4. Okay. So I'll take a more. For this I'll take 22 meters into 4. Or this will be 8. Now this area will be 22 into 8. Now my probability of an event will be 22 into 7 by 22 into 8. So don't do multiplication. 22 20 will be cancelled. That will be 7 by 8. So these kind of question you may come across. This is called application type question. This is 4-mark question. Understand? So in such a way, you have to understand the probability of an event, and if you can have the sum of the probability sum of total events will be 1. If a die is rolled, one die is rolled 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 6, the total outcomes. So P of 1 is equal to 1 by 6, P of 2 1 by 6, likewise P of 6 also 1 by 6. Now I would like to say P of 1 plus P of 2 plus P of 3, P of 4 and P of 5 and P of 6. The total events will come. Then 1 by 6 plus 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 1 by 6. That is 6 by 6 is equal to 1. So now you can conclude P of E1 plus P of E2 and so on in an event that will be equivalent to 1. In an experiment that will be 1. So this is also one important case you should remember. Please, whatever the experiment I told you, you can practice many more problems. So it is a very simple and for every child, those who are very fields. So statistics, we have the only 3: mean, number 2 mode, number 3 median. So now we have 6 formula here. Sorry, 3 formula for mean, direct method, deviation and step deviation, mode formula and median formula. So please, you can, what is the first formula? Sigma fx by sigma fi. Sigma fx by sigma fi. And what is the second formula? Sigma fi di by sigma fi di by sigma, fi. Sigma fi. This is the second formula. For the last one, what is u? Step deviation method we use here, sigma fi ui. Sigma fi ui by sigma, fi into h. So among this formula, again you have an idea of the mode formula. What is the mode formula? Mode is equal L plus, you see, L plus F1 by F0 or F0 by 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 into the class height. Again, median formula. Median is equal. Okay, you can see the formula L plus n by 2 in minus CF by F into h. So these two formulas, you should define every fi xi. You can define every term from the formula. They one mark question or 2 mark question comes from this. This is the damn sure you can get a problem. Alright, formula. So just it is very simple to remember, and you can do the each, and you can define every term. You should write the formula. You should define the every term. Okay. Now what I am asking you, I'm not now if I could say many problems I can generate. You have 4 exercises or 3 exercises. So for exercise 1, you are having many 1 to 10 problems, for example. For this, now at this juncture, what you do, you solve the every problem. You should solve. Suppose it is a problem meant for mean. You can solve mean. You can solve for median. You can solve for mode also. Okay. So if you could practice such like that, you will be having the idea of the formula. You will be adding how to solve the problem. Somewhere you are getting missing frequencies also there. So please focus on the 2 problems. Missing frequencies. When median is given, you have to find out the missing frequency. Okay. That problems are very important. From this chapter, definitely a 4-mark question, a 2-mark question, and 1-mark question, along with this 1 more 4-mark question, that is, Ogive curve. Ogive curve. Understand? So this is very important. So now there are bundle of problems are there. You could take any organized data, the frequency table, then you solve mean, mode, median. One more point I would like to tell you that, I would like to suggest you that for mean, if in the examination, if they could ask, find the mean of the given data, means you can find in any other. Find the mean of the given data by step deviation method. Then you have to confine, or you have to find the data by step deviation method only. Whatever method they ask, in such method you have to solve that problem only. Understand? Now for the Ogive curve, we will be getting the Ogive curve also. Okay. Now I would like to share the screen. One more. Okay. Yes. So now statistics, we'll go for statistics. So now I'm going to share how to draw a Ogive curve. So class interval will be given and frequency will be given. It's a problem. Draw the less than cumulative frequency Ogive for the given data. What is the given data? The class interval and frequency will be given. Then what you have to do? So the problem will be, you see, the problem will be in horizontal way. Then you can find out. So problem will be like this. So just the screen will be very small. Problem will be in a horizontal way. That's what I want to tell you. Class interval and frequency will be given. Then you have to convert the table into vertical table. So it is a Ogive curve less than cumulative curve. You have to find out, you have to, recognize the upper boundary. What is the first, if you take first one, what is the upper boundary, See, upper boundaries. Now, less than cumulative frequency, you see, less than 55. How many are there? Are, you see, I'm okay. It is a more than, okay. I'll take it is more than cumulative. Okay. Now listen. It is a more than cumulative. I'll show you a less than cumulative also. Listen. Here, for more than cumulative or less than cumulative, you see, the cumulative frequency will be like this. Yes, this is for less than cumulative. Less than cumulative, opposite you take upper boundary. That is the దాన్ని ఏమంటారంటే మనం బండ గుర్తు కొండ గుర్తు అనుకుంటాం. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. లెస్ దాన్ క్యూములేటివ్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ అడిగితే ఏం తీసుకోవాలి? అప్పర్ బౌండరీ తీసుకోవాలి. సో అప్పర్ బౌండరీ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ఏమనుకోవాలి? ఆ అప్పర్ బౌండరీ కంటే తక్కువ, లెస్ దాన్ అప్పర్ బౌండరీ, లెస్ దాన్ 55. ఇఫ్ యు టేక్ ద క్లాస్ 1 55 frequency is 2. So the less than 55, how many members are there? 2 are there. If I take a second one, you see, if you take second one, what is here? Understand? 60, less than 60, 8 plus 2, it is 10. Understand? 65, less than 65, you see 12. You can add this 12, 10 plus 12, 22. Again 22 plus 24, 46. 46 plus 38, 84. Less than, wait. This is the less than. Now in the Cartesian plane, what are the points to be established? Plot the points. That is upper boundary, comma, its respective cumulative frequency. That is less than cumulative frequency. Upper boundary, comma, LCF. You write like that. Now let us see. Upper boundary, the less than frequency. Is it visible? Upper boundary, it's a respective less than frequency. These are all the points we have to establish on the. Now take a graph sheet. So it is a graph sheet. First, what is the skeleton? If graph sheet is provided, then you have to find out the, axis. You scale x-axis. On x-axis, my scale is 1 centimeter is equal 10 units. Do you remember? You should indicate y-axis. It is also I'm taking. It depends. Scale depends upon the data. Scale depends upon the data. Somewhere very very important. You should. If it is the data will be starts from your frequency will be start from some 5,000. What we do in x-axis or y-axis? This is y-axis. This is x-axis. So your class interval will be in thousands or like these hundreds. 500. It starts from 500. Then you can write a kink. This is called a kink. 500, 600, then 700. That's what I'm telling you. You should put a kink at the origin and you proceed for the then. Now see what we do. This is our table. You should see the table. Then what is our point? 55 comma 2. Where 55 comma 2 you see. Again 60 comma 10. Now join with the free hand. This is less than cumulative frequency curve. Less than cumulative frequency curve will be, it rises. More than cumulative frequency, it comes down. Now let us see. Again, I'm taking for one more ogive. Okay. You see, this is our required table. Is it clear, children? Okay. Now, this is more than cumulative MCF, cumulative frequency curve. So for that, what we have to do, you see, I'm giving as a question. Now let us see Now your table should be changed. Okay, so this is the case. You can find out the different you know uh, frequency curves. So this is very, very important for you. So now I would like to tell you that, so you should practice for more than cumulative. You take, what, lower boundary, then you say more than, then it comes on. Then what is the points? Lower boundary plus more than cumulative frequency, then you plot the points. So for this, definitely a question, I told you yesterday, either a construction or a less than cumulative frequency or more than cumulative frequency. From less than cumulative frequency curve or more than cumulative frequency curve. Then if you draw a perpendicular to the this one, n by 2, where n by 2 meets, if you draw the perpendicular to the x-axis, that will be the median. Understand? So that is the case. You can find out the median also. Understand? So now this is the case for these two chapters are very, very important, and these are the scoring chapters. If you are able to solve all these problems, and you can practice many more problems, that is very important. Okay, now this is the way you have to prepare for your examination. Okay, is it enough today, or shall we go for another chapter? We have only two important chapters are there, trigonometry and their applications. I will tell you in the next class with more examples and with more problems also. And one more is there, mensuration. Understand? Are you getting my point? So mensuration is also very, very important. Okay. So if you are interested, I will take mensuration also. Okay. Sundar sir, shall I continue the next chapter?
Yeah, you can continue, sir. You can continue. Today we are not in a hurry.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Yeah, at least for half an hour if you have.
Yeah. I will continue one more chapter. Mensuration is a very important chapter and it is very simple. So now I would like to tell you, children, I will take it is on the board. Okay. So I'm leaving only two chapters for next class. That is trigonometry. Why I'm leaving now? I will take much time on that both chapters. Okay. Trigonometry and its applications. Now I would like to explain in mensuration what are the key concepts. If it is not visible, please, Sundar sir, please indicate me when I am writing. So mensuration. Mensuration, it is having only three key points. One is finding the TSA, that means total surface area, or LSA, or volume of any 3D figure. 3D figure means here you have only cube, cuboid, so cone, sphere, cylinder, and hemisphere. So these are all the only these kind of. This is a single 3D figure. One point. Another one is combination of solids. Combination of solids. Third one is conversion of solids. Conversion of solids. Solids, one shape to another, one to another shape. I will tell you that one also. So this is the way. These are the 3 points. But finding the TSA, LSA, here you have almost all 17 formulas there. Are there. Finding the total surface area of a cube, finding the TSA of a cube, a cuboid, and like that. What is LSA of a cuboid? Then if you come to the curved surface areas, here we will having the the total while finding the total surface area, we should include these circular bases. Okay, sphere it is having only total. If you say TSA or LSA, it is same. For any sphere, TSA and LSA are different. That's why 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So among the 18 minus 1, that is called 17 formula is there. You should have an idea of the formula, then you will be getting at least 1 mark or 2 marks directly. So these are both chapters in the communication questions. Find what is the formula for finding the total surface area of a sphere, total surface area of a cone, and lateral surface area of a cone, like that. Their direct question will be like that. So this is one kind of direct questions you may come across like this. For this, let us see. I'm writing. You to write with me. One problem will be like this. If the total surface area of a solid hemisphere, listen. First, this is a 1 marker. The total, please write with me when I am saying the total surface area. If the total surface area, if a TSA, I am writing TSA of a hemisphere of solid is 462 centimeter square. Find its value. Find its value. You see, this is a link. How they are linking, TSA to value. If you know TSA or CSA of a, or TSA of a hemisphere, for this problem, whatever 1 mark problem, 2 mark problem, you should write given. Is it visible? Sundar sir, kanabadutunda idi? Okay, if it is visible, somebody raise your hand. Okay, is it good? You should say like this. Okay, right. Okay.
Sir, it is very visible, sir. It is very clear for us.
Yeah, why I'm telling that in mensuration, a rough figure is very, very essential to solve the problem. So to visualize the problem, it is very essential to draw a rough figure. So now any sphere, you should have a half circle. This is any sphere. Remember, this is R. Okay? Okay. Now listen. Now what is given? TSA is given. TSA of hemisphere is equal to what? 462 centimeters. Do you know radius? You don't know radius. Let the radius be R centimeters. Then TSA. What is the TSA? Total surface area of the hemisphere. 3 TSA of a hemisphere. You should write the formula. 3 pi r square. 3 pi r square. Understand? Now what it will be? So now as per the given, so the 3 pi r square is equivalent to 462. Now solve pi r square means 3 into 22 by 7 into r square is equal to 462. Now let us solve. R square is equal to 462 by, you see, 3 into 22, the 7 will go like this. Now let us see. You can take 11 2s are 22, 11 4s are 44. Again here what? 2, 11 2s are 22. 4 1s are, sorry, 3 1s are 3, 3 1s are 3, 3 4. Okay. So now R square will be, R square will be 14 into 7. You see, R square is equal to 2 into 7 into 7. So then R will be under root of 2 into 7 into 7. Okay. Then R is equal to what? Root 2 into 7. Now, if I got the R, then what he has asked? Volume. 4 by 3 pi r cube. Then you substitute the r value here, then it will be the value. So like this is the formula, this is the way you have, this is a 1 mark question or 2 mark question. Here there is no direct question, it is a one kind of indirect question, and sometimes they will ask the comparison of the volume, comparison of the surface areas will be like this. So now 1 more question you can write down. Children, is it clear? Okay. So because if you have a thorough knowledge of the formula and understanding of their finding the areas, just simple calculations are needed. One more question, write the formula for finding the total surface area of a cone. How do you find out the cone? That is a direct formula. To write, if two right circular cylinders are equal volumes, write the again one more problem. If two right circular cylinders are having the equal volumes, their heights in the ratio of 1:2. Heights in the ratio of 1:2. I am repeating the problem once again. Please write down. If two right circular cylinders of equal volumes, V1 is equal V2, have their heights in the ratio of 1:2, what is the ratio of their radii? What is the ratio of their radii? So what is the formula for finding the volume? Tell me. Now pi r square h, that is pi r square h. Then V1, you can write V. So if a cylinder, you can draw a formula like this is a cylinder of what it is a cylinders of their height are in different size. This is h1, this is h2. You should denote this is r1, this is r2. Now V1, this is V1, this is V2. So now the r1 square h1, V1 is equal to V2 is given. So pi r1 square h1 is equal to pi r2 square h2. Now you substitute what is given, pi will be cancelled. Now I am taking r1 square by r2 square is equal h1 by h2. h1 by h2. What is r1? 1 or 1x you can take what is r2? You take 2 square. Then h1 by h2. So this is equal h1 by h2 is equal to 1 by 4. That means their heights h1 is to h2 is equal 1:4. So this is the way you have to find out the answer. Very simple problem, but figuring out the problem. So you should write the given. You should write. You can draw a appropriate rough diagram for the figure. Then you should write the formula. That is very important. Then substitute this is r1 is to r2 is given. Okay. Yeah, r1 is to r2. No, it is r1. If I take r1 is to r is like this, then height will be 1:2. If height is 1:2, what r1 is to r1 square is to r2 also. For example, vice versa question, same question. The question will be if it is r1 is to r2, or then what is the h1 is to h2. If h1 is to h2 is 1:2, then r1 is to r2. Then vice versa, you can ask the question. This is the way you have to find out the questions, answers. Understand? And one more thing, the 3 cubes of a metal whose edges are, it is same in your textbook, I think, are in the ratio 3:4:5 are melted and converted into into a single cube whose diagonal is 12 √3. Then find the sides. So you see, this is conversion of solids. Conversion of solids. Conversion of solids. Here, very, very important. In conversion of solids, volume is constant. Volume doesn't changes. That is the criteria taking into the consideration. So here, a cube to cuboid, any metal or wax like this, it can be converted. It can be a cube. If it is a cube, it can be a cube. Again, it can be a cube with a small size. It can be a cylinder like this. It can be a cone. It can be a cone. It can be sphere. So vice versa, any, if it is a cuboid, it can be converted into different shapes. Okay, that is very important. Here the change of volume is nothing matters. Same volume doesn't changes. Now this is one kind of question. Now what he has given, please note down the problem and solve. Now I'm 3 cubes with what are the three cubes? These are all the 3 cubes. Right, the 3 cubes of metal whose edges are in the ratio of 3:4:5. Same, 3:1, another one is 4, and another one is 5. This is 5, bigger. 3, their edges are 3:4:5. They melted, and converted into a big cube again. Then it has given a diagonal. Then you have to find out the, volume of this one. Okay, then find the edges of the 3 cube. You have to find out the edges of this cube. Okay, that is the question. So for diagonal, what you do and how you can find, that is very important. You can proceed for that question also. And one more question I would like to tell you that yes, a solid metallic sphere of radius 10.5 centimeter is melted and recast into a number of cones, each radius of 3.5 centimeters and height 3 centimeters. Find the number of cones so formed. Then again, I am repeating the question. A solid metallic sphere, please write with me, of radius 10.5 centimeters is melted and recast into a number of cones, each radius, here very important, radius 3.5 centimeters and height is 3 centimeters. Then find the number of cones so formed. This is the question. Now for this question, please write down the question. Again, I am reading. A solid metallic sphere of radius 10.5 centimeters. So which is melted and converted into a longer, into a cone. Then number of cones. The radius of the cone is 3.5 and height is 3 centimeters. For this, please, what you remember that if you are able to read the problem and understand the problem, half of the done. How? You see, if you read the problem, you should write the given. Now, what is the given? Radius of a sphere. R is equal to 10.5 centimeters. So before that, you can imagine a figure, a sphere of radius R 10.5 centimeters, melted and converted. This volume is V1, and it has been converted into number of cones, different cones, same cones with a radius. So this is the radius, this is height. Radius is 3 centimeters and height is 3 centimeters. Here n number of cones. So this is the imagine. With this the problem picture. Okay. Now what do you know? The radius of the cone. Small, you take small r 3.5 centimeters. Then height of the cone. Height of the cone h is equal to what? 3 centimeters. Now you know what is the volume of sphere. Volume of sphere V1 equal to n into volume of cone. How many cones form? N number of cones. You don't know the number of cones. If you know the value of one cone into number of cones is equivalent to the volume of this one sphere. Now what is the volume of the sphere? Tell me. Value of the sphere 4 by 3 pi r cube. 4 by 3 pi r cube. Now here 4 by 3 pi r cube. Now here n into the volume of cone. Volume of cone is 1 by 3 pi r square h. 1 by 3 pi r square h. Here you take a capital R here for this. Now you substitute the value here. So 4 by 3 into pi into you see r cube is equal to n into 1 by 3 into pi into r square 3.5 square h is 3. Now you can cancel pi 3 will be cancelled. What you will be getting, you see, so now 4 into r cube. R is what? Here R is he has given 10.5. Okay, again you can substitute 10.5. Here also you can substitute 10.5 cube. 10.5 R 4 into 10.5 cube is equal to what is n into here given 3.5 square. 3.5 into 3.5 into 3. Now I need n. 4 into 10.5 into 10.5 into 10.5 by, you see, 3.5 into 3.5 into 3. Then you will be getting the number. So you can take this, you can cancel this one, then you can solve the problem. You will be getting the answer. So n number of cones. Okay. So this is the way you have to find out the problem. So here many students are getting that the calculation is very tough. Not tough. I didn't do any the sum of the calculation. If you do multiply earlier while doing this one, you will be facing some trouble. Okay. So this is one kind of questions you come across. So one more thing I would like to say, tell you that one more problem will be like this. If a cuboid of 44 into 22 into 11 centimeters of a metallic cuboid of metallic cuboid of measurements 44 into 22 into 11, that means length, breadth and height will be like this. Then it has melted and recast into a long length of wire, listen, whose cross section diameter, very very important, cross section diameter is 0.7 millimeters or 7 millimeters. 7 millimeters. It is centimeters. Then find its length. My question is clear. What is given? If a cuboid of if a metallic cuboid of 24 into 44 into 22 into 11 centimeters measurements melted and recast into a long length of wire whose cross section diameter is 7 millimeters, then find its length. Now, what you have understood? Tell me. A metallic sphere, a metallic cuboid is here like this. A metallic cuboid will be like this. So it has melted and converted. It has melted and converted into a long length of wire. 44, 22 and 11 melted and it is a long length of wire. That is a cylinder. That is a cylinder. Here, length of wire is the height of the cylinder, and it has given the cross section diameter. So D is equal to 7 mm, and now you write the given. So visualize the problem. Here V1 is equal to V2. Volume is same. Volume of the cuboid is equal to volume of the cylinder, right circular cylinder. Then what you have to do now? The given is L is 44, breadth is 22 and centimeters, and height is 11 centimeters. Next, then radius of a wire. Wire means it is a cylinder. Cylinder is what not given. It is what is given. Diameter is given. Diameter. Then D is equal. You write D is equal to 7 millimeters. 7 millimeters. That means R is equal to D by 2. That is equal to 7 by 2 millimeters. So if you could convert here, centimeters are there, millimeter. What I want to insist on this. You have to, how many millimeters? 10 millimeters is equal to 1 centimeter. Okay? Understand? So now what we do, 3.5 millimeters or 0.35 centimeters. It is very, very important. Understand? Now your question starts now. What you have to find out, length. You doesn't know then cylinder, height of the cylinder or length of the cylinder is, you take as L or something X. Now volume 1 is equal to volume 2. That is volume of cuboid is equal to volume of cylinder. Then LBH is equal pi r square H. Now LBH 44 into 22 into 11 is equal 22 by 7 into what will be R? Very, very important. If you take as a 3.5, that will be the wrong. You take 0.35 because 3.5 millimeters by 10 equivalent to 0.35 centimeter. 0.35 square into, you don't know the LH. Now again you do some little bit calculation. Now I'll take like this, 22 by 7 into 0.35 into 0.35 into L is equal to 44 into 22 into 11. For your convention, I am taking like this. You can cancel 22 here. Now you see L is equal to, I am taking 44 into 11. 7 will be go like outside by 0.35 into 0.35. For simplification, you use small tricks or arithmetical tricks. Again, you take 44 into 11 into 7 by 35 into 35 into again 100 into 100. So you will be 100 by 100. Okay, 100 by 100 means you will be getting 100 above. Understand? listen, 0.3 by, if I do, I would like to write like this is as a 35 by 100, 35 by 100 into 35 by 100. Again, you see 44 into 11 into 7 by 35 into 35 above 100 into 100. So 7 ones are 7 5s are. Okay, you can do some calculation. 5 7s are like this. You can do, you will be getting the number. So the length of the wire you will be getting in such a way. Here the measurements, conversion of measurements is very, very important. Okay, so these kind of questions you may come across in the exam. From mensuration, definitely I'll assure you that one is a 2-mark question, one is a question from different formulae. 17 formulae are there. You will be getting either 1-mark question or 2-mark question, half-mark question from the formula. From the formula, there is no direct question. There may be a comparison of total surface area, comparison of curved surface areas, or comparison of volumes. Okay. Then one kind of questions. If this is one question, and another questions will be like this. This is conversion of solids. While conversion of solid, you will be getting a 4 marks problem. Whether a question comes from this chapter, a 4-mark question from the conversion of solids, or one more thing. If a farmer builds a tent with a tent which is in the shape of conical shape, whose radius will be 7 meters and height will be some 15 meters. Then find its the canvas, required canvas. Find the required canvas to make such a tent, and if the cost of the canvas per meter is 10 rupees, then what will be the total cost? This is the problem. If a farmer or any person builds a tent which is in the shape of conical tent, so whose radius is 7 meters and height is 15 meters, like this. What is the required canvas, and find the cost if canvas rate is 10 rupees per meter square, then what will be the total cost? So these are some application type questions. You will come across these kind of questions in the examination. Okay, so this is mensuration. So what you do, please, you should be thorough. You are not supposed to work. Suppose sometimes the curved surface area and lateral surface area same. If it is a cone, so this will be the slant height. This is R, this is H. So what you do, if a conical tent of radius 3.5 meters or 3 meters and height 4 meters, then find its lateral surface area or find the canvas required to build such a tent. Here you need curved surface area. What is given here? See, given is R is given 3 meters, H is given how many? 4 meters. I need curved surface area. I need pi RL. Again, I told you that it is a right angle triangle. If it is a right angle triangle, it is hypotenuse. Then L will be under root of R square plus H square. So this is called indirect data. This is direct data. This is given. This is direct given. This is you have to find out the indirect. So what you need? You need CSA. CSA is equal to pi r L. So pi r square plus s square, for 3 square plus 4 square under root, that will be 5. Now 22 by 7 into what will be the r? R is 3 and 5. Okay. Now 22 into 15 by 7 UD. That will be the square meters. So from this you can ask different questions. Sometimes, so different questions will be like this. Please understand. Okay, is it clear? Now one more question I would like to tell you that if a tie, the problem will be like this. I'll write the problem with a figure. It is in a shape of like this. Yes. It is a hemisphere. You know, the radius will be given. The radius of the cylinder will be 3 centimeters, and height is here. Height of the cone is 4 centimeters, and the height of the cylinder, this height will be 10 centimeters. It is the radius. 3 again it will be. It is a tie will be like this. So if they ask the total surface area of the tie. Now let us the combination of figures, 3D figures. One is cone, another one is cylinder, and another one is hemisphere. Now listen. If you find out the total surface area of hemisphere, it doesn't mean what we have to find out. What we have to find out CSA, the total surface area of this combination of solids or a tie. The total surface area of this tie will be the CSA of cone, plus CSA of cylinder and CSA of what? Hemisphere. So you could find out this total surface area. Why? Because the cone has surmounted on the surface of the cylinder. Again, hemisphere attached to the base to the cylinder. The both bases are here. They are doing there. Attaching each other, so that the surface of the total surface, we are not supposed to find the total surface area. This is a somewhat confusion. So now CSA of a cone, you can find the pi RL. Then what you need? The total cylinder. For cylinder, 2 pi r into r plus h. 2 pi r into r plus h, no, not r plus h. You can find out the 2 pi r h. Then CSA of a hemisphere will be the CSA of the lateral surface area, curved surface hemisphere is 2 pi r square. Then one twist will be here. You don't know r is given, h is given. Again, you have to find out L, that is will be 5. If you have an idea of the Pythagorean triplet, then you will have this is one case, and you can find. Now you see pi, you can take pi as a common. RL, what RL? This is R. What is the R here? Tell me. R is equal to 3 into 5 plus 2 into 3 into H. It is, again I have taken 2 into R square, that is equal to 3 square, 9. So this is the way you have to calculate. Pi 22 by 7, you keep like here. 15 plus 6 into 10, 60 plus 18. You do 65 plus 18. 75 plus 22 by 7, you know, you add.
Sir, not same,
Sir?
not same that line, sir. Not same that line. If you
It's
can
not
write
okay.
up, it is better, sir.
Okay, is it
Right.
okay? Up to now it is okay?
Yeah, up to now it's okay, sir. But
Okay, now
line is
listen.
not
Now
okay.
children, yeah, please come. I will come into the top. Okay. Now here what I left 22 by 7 into, so don't do pi, I have taken common. 15, do write with me. 2 into 6 into 10, that is 23, 60 plus 80. You see, 60, 15 plus 60, 75, 75 plus 8, 83 plus 93. So 22 by 7 into 93. So you will be getting the answer in square centimeters. Okay. So that is the case you have to find out. Now, if you do, if you don't have an idea of the lateral height or the slant height of the this one, that is, you should remember. This is called combination of solids. Understand? So these kind of question you should practice at this juncture. Okay. So I have covered all the 3 chapters. One is probability. Another one is, you know, statistics. So statistics, what you do, I'm concluding once again. For statistics, you have to solve all the problems in whatever in the textbook or other than textbook problems. Just you practice for mean 3 ways: mode, formula, and its every term, and median and its every term. So if you take one problem, you practice a graph also. If you take a organized data, a group of data, a problem from any source, then you try for what? Mean, median, mode, and ogive curve. Now please buy 10 or 20 graph sheets. Then you practice a ogive curve every day. If you get any doubt, please note my number. While trying the ogive curve, I will, please at least you should practice minimum 4 to 5 ogive curve. Definitely a 4-mark question. But I can't say what kind of question, but a question on ogive curve. If less than ogive, what you have to take? For less than, upper boundary. For more than, lower boundary. And with its respective cumulative frequency. Okay, this is the case you have to remember in the work. For entire probability, only the one formula: photo, favorable outcomes by total outcomes. Of the, when we call it a lateral surface or curved surface, what is total surface, and what is the volume of each and every 3D object. Here we have 6 objects. Among them, 17 formula is there, are there. Then you have to find out the formula. One is direct question with an application. One is comparison of areas, and one is comparison of volumes, and another one is combination of solid. If a solid will be given like this, if a tie will be given like this, if they ask total surface area, many intelligent children do that. Total surface of a cone, total surface area of a cylinder, and first you see the parts, different parts of the tie or a combination of solid. Then what he is asked, where it is. So it is surmounted on the surface of the cylinder. It is also attached to the surface of the cylinder. Then the both the base areas are coincide. Now what we have only the lateral surface. Here also lateral surface. Here also lateral surface. So that you can find out the curved surface area of the each and every part. Then it will be the total surface area of the given figure. That is the case. Please remember. So many children are doing mistakes. They are finding a total surface area every object they are combining. That will be the big wrong. So while calculation also, you should be very intellectual. You should be very intelligent. That means everywhere pi is there. Take a pi as a common. Now you substitute the value simply. It is a common arithmetic calculation. You do calculate. You do it. That is the way you have to proceed to the answer. After getting the answer, then the total surface area of the given tie is equal. dash centimeter square. You should write the, measurements also. That is very, very important. So in next class, what we discuss, I discuss one paper 2, trigonometry, applications of trigonometry. 2 chapters are left. Okay. And I will discuss the coordinate geometry also in the next. Then half an hour, that one, and half an hour, how to present the question, what are the parameters in the next question paper presentation. But now I would like to suggest, I can teach more and more. It's not a problem for me. If you could practice more and more, it implies, it enhances your skills. So while practicing a problems, if you get any doubt, please consult me at any time. You can call me also. I will be ready with you. My number is 9948867665. If you have any original problem, then you can call me. So thank you, children. I wish you all the best. I think you might have got an overall idea of the question paper. That's very important. But I can teach you many more, but I cannot write you in your place. So be confident and be cautious, and you should go through the key concept of every chapter. Every chapter is important. There is no weightage for chapters. Only the weightage is given to the kinds of academic standards. So that be confident. So it is very crucial time. I hope your parents having their hope on you, and your institutions also. They are paying a good attention, and they are gathering the different resource person from different across our Telangana and across they are searching for resources. You are very fortunate to have such a management, those who are thinking of your welfare. So please take care and be attentive and be confident. I wish you all the best for your future coming examinations. So
Thank you very much, sir. Your again other classes on 12th, 13th, 15th, 16th June, sir. Before maths paper 1, 12th, 13th,
yeah,
and 15th, 16th before maths paper 2.
okay.
And tomorrow, children, we have English paper 1 tomorrow and day after tomorrow by Dr. Srinivas Reddy, sir. And Sir Ramesh, sir, this is a wonderful class. I concentrate completely, but the children are very fortunate to have lecture like this one. It is a very wonderful, it is very clear. Sometimes just interrupting little voice, but they might be having their own network problems, but from our side, there is nothing problem. But it is a great, children, you are so lucky to have such a wonderful lecture today, tomorrow, all these days. And as he told, your managements are working very hard to give a very good output from your side. But you are the person to write examination. Be confident and just hope for the best. Don't have any regrets, nothing, no worries. Okay, whatever the things you think before you write, it will be a good output for everyone. So once again, I thank you all, and I wish you all very best, and stay home, stay healthy. Thank you very much, sir. Jai Hind.